Peace and many blessings to you all. I'm hoping that you can hear me well because I'm in the middle of a storm. Happy new moon. That's mother for you, you know. Bringing the water, bringing the comfort. So, I was talking about earlier in the week how I find this Cancer new moon to be profound because it falls on a Monday, which is the day of the moon, and the thunderstorm is really just bringing it all full force. I hear you, Big Mama. What we're going to do today is tap into the overall energy of what each element may be experiencing. Again, no specific question. I just kind of want to read, feel, and give some advice on how to handle this time. And with Cancer energy, I feel like they have a tie to their home, like to their shell, obviously, and just wanting to take it everywhere with them and things like that. So there will be themes of people securing a house. Well, not securing a house, but securing the house, as in making sure that everything is in order for you to maintain your homeostasis. And the house can be this physical house, which is the only true house that we have, and then we also have the houses that we dwell in this physical realm. Attention to the home, attention to the emotions, creating safe containers to share space with others and to express your emotion. Being challenged emotionally, being triggered could be a theme of this time because it's a call for the inner workings. I feel like it's just ascension time. It is ascension time on the planet. It's expansion time on the planet. And what my mentor always says is like just being on the right side of things. And I feel like with this heavy mothering energy, it's like I'm about to get you together real quick. So it could feel a little bit harsh, but it could also be extremely comforting and extremely loving, and just spending a lot of time with family could also be a theme, like bringing people together, being in love. And when I say being in love, I'm not talking about romantic. Break out of that. I'm trying to expand the consciousness because love is all. All right, actually, before I start, I want to invite you to leave a love donation if you feel called to. And also, if anything resonates with you, leave me a comment. Let me know. I want to talk. Look for the sun, the moon, and the Mars signs for this, and I only include Mars because Mars has a lot to do with your passions. So yes. All right, let's tap in. I'm going to start with my water signs. So if you are a Cancer, happy Earth Day to you. For water signs, we get the salamander in reverse as well as the Ten of Water. Boom. Salamander in reverse and Ten of Water. When I see salamanders in reverse and I think about what people could be going through, it's almost like there's a resistance to change, which makes sense with a lot of the water signs. There's a resistance to change, and it's coming from a misdirect of where to put your passion and energy. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like this time is slowing you down and kind of flipping things around and making things seem like failures, but it's really just redirecting you to where you're supposed to be and what you're supposed to do and how well. It's here to show you how well you can adapt. There we go. This time period is here right now showing you just how well you can adapt. And once you can take in that lesson of adaptation and being comfortable with it, and knowing that there's nothing happening to you that is to your detriment. It's all for you. All of it is for you. It all belongs. It's just showing you how to adapt. And with that Ten of Water, again, it's almost like rejoicing. Like, okay, I'm ready. I got the lesson. So you definitely are all starting to get the lesson. Hopefully there is comfortable support there for you so that you can kind of be comfortable swimming again, be comfortable swimming in it again, swimming in the flow. But that Ten of Water is heavy. Like, I got the lesson. I'm okay. I'm not going to tie into my own delusions anymore. I'm not getting caught up in no nonsense. I am. And there's also energy of a birth, After all this adaptation, after all this learning, after all this nourishment, there is a birth here. Like, it's like, okay, every time something comes to life, something else dies. So it's getting comfortable with that. Again, getting comfortable with change, getting comfortable with adaptation for my water signs. And then I'm going to pull an oracle card for y'all just to solidify the insight. Okay, truth. Living in your truth and being honest with yourself. Being honest with yourself and where you are. right? Being comfortable with your vulnerabilities. If you're uncomfortable about something but you're keeping it to yourself, a part of living in your truth is letting people know how you feel, allowing them in, because what you are going through is not who you are. The things that you ask of people is not who you are. Receiving help doesn't make you a bad person, it makes you stronger. And then especially with the fish being all together, it's like community, it's about bonding, it's about coming together, and a lot of that is truth. Truth is like the glue for me. That's what's gonna make me stick to somebody. That's what's gonna make me, live in your truth, be honest about yourself. And the more that you walk in your truth, the more that you inspire others to do the same thing. So there's so much power in that. Even if you're scared, tell the truth. Or even examine why you are scared to tell the truth. Tap into childhood. Any times where you told the truth and then maybe you weren't believed. Any times where you told the truth and it shifted the energy in a way that made you uncomfortable. Pay attention, reflect. Pay attention, reflect, adapt. Water signs. Thank you. And next we are going to do our fire signs. Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius is next up with our fire signs. We'll be into fire energy. What is some insight from our fire signs? What are they going through right now? How can I give them some insight? Signs. Baba Orisha and the devil. Oh wow, y'all are in a bind. Let me not say that. The Baba Orisha is similar to like a high priest card, or just someone who has a lot of faith and clarity. And then we have the devil card, right? It seems to be a theme of shadow work coming through for y'all during this mothering energy, during this Cancer new moon, right? You're prepared to follow, you're prepared to walk in faith, you are prepared to look to higher insight and even counsel others and provide insight to them. But on the same time, there is this darker energy around you or darker energy near you that you're resistant to facing, and there's a need to face it. Or even there's a balance needing to happen, a mesh. There are things that you need from your darker selves. There are things that you need from your shadows. There are things that you need from your light. And it's about this time, it's about you combining them without falling too deep into the dark. Again, because like I was saying before, with the advice of my mentor, make sure that you're on the right side of things. There's going to be some tests for you to make sure that you're on the right side of things. What side you on? What you choosing? Because there's really no such thing as good and evil. For me, it's all subjective. There's always a deeper plan at the universe, and it has to balance things. Like just how happiness is always in the atmosphere, just how humidity is always in the atmosphere. So in that same case, there's always going to be that balance of good and evil, quote unquote good and evil. That's what people call it. Both are there. It just is. Whatever it is there. And then we decide, we judge it based off of good and evil. So step back outside yourself in these time periods if you can. During this time, fire signs, try to view yourself as an observer to see what may be testing you to draw you closer or further away from something, because it's really priest energy or devil energy. Which are you choosing? And then I will also say to examine different times in your childhood when you felt like you were acting from a sadistic standpoint, or if you have anything like that, like times where you was just like, how I'm gonna get them, or anything like that. Tap into it to heal from it, and tap into it so that you can know when is the right time to use it, because everything that we have, everything that's inside us is there for a reason. It's just about knowing when to call it in, knowing when to draw it out, and knowing when to learn from it and not let it control you, not let it take over you, who you are. Right? So we have slow but steady. Slow but steady. The healing is happening. The integration is happening. You are learning. You are feeling through it all. Don't try to rush it. Maybe the devil energy is coming from the rushing, right? When it comes to receiving things immediately, instant gratification. When it comes to instant gratification, beware of that, because maybe that's tying you to that devil energy instead of the Baba Orisha, which would be tying into divine timing, right? So trust in divine timing. Know that if it's meant to happen, it's going to happen, and be detached. Be detached from the idea that it's going to happen on your time anyway, because that's a little bit small-minded. Get out of the territory of how things are going to happen, because that's God's territory. And the devil is more about control, whereas that priest energy is more like letting things flow, calling things in, healing it. What is it called? Clearing it out, clearing some energy. I also would recommend doing a spiritual cleanse in the home. Something as small as saging it, or as a bigger step with throwing some onions in some corners of the house, letting it stay there for 3 days to a week, and then disposing of it. I would bury it near a big tree, and then give thanks for nature taking on all the energy that was in the house for you. So yeah, slow but steady wins the race, but it's not about winning. You are the race. All right, thank you, fire signs. Now we are on to the air signs: Aquarius, Gemini, and Libra. air signs, we have the Ace of Air in reverse, and we have Salamanders upright. So Ace of Air in reverse, this is interesting because this is an Aquarius card. And then Salamanders upright, which came out for the water signs. So with my air signs, there's resistance to starting something new. There's resistance into the ways that you communicate. There is resistance to some type of purification. It's like you are accepting the cloudiness of the mind instead of moving forward and pushing through it and trying to figure out how to adapt and create your own reality. That's what it is. But once you heal through, it's almost like you're not trusting your mind, right? And I can see that because the mind can be a tricky thing, but you got to learn to work with it. When it comes to purifying your thoughts, detach from them and recognize that they don't come from you. I was having a conversation with my friend, and it's just like, the thoughts are not yours. If so, point to where they came from. Point to where the thought came from and tell me how it's yours. You can't do that. So detach from it. You know, maybe it may be nice to attach to some good thoughts that we have, and even that is not ours. It's something that's sent to us, and we decided to receive it and things like that. Plus, it matches the energy that you're putting out. So, yeah, what you receive is going to match the energy that you're putting out. What you give is what you get. Put more trust in your thoughts. Put more love in your thoughts. Put more acceptance in your thoughts, and stop trying to control them. Let them just watch them. Yes, it's going to be rampant sometimes. The thoughts be going wild sometimes, and that's okay. But don't let that stop you from the trust and the faith that you have in yourself to be able to build, to be able to be successful, to be able to adapt to whatever is coming to you in your environment. Also, with being able to shed as well as being able to grow. Like, don't stop your growth because of your mental processing. You won't be able to stop growth anyway because it's inside of you. But yes, and then it's like also there is some new passion or some passion that is coming to light within you, and that is just going to help you shape where you fit into your new environment or to your old environment. But I do get some type of new environment, especially because the Ace of Air. So it's going to be some type of setback because of your mental. Learn from that and use it to streamline you into that situation where you are comfortable, you're adapting, and it's extremely successful, especially because it's on ground, it's on the earth, and it connects you to the ground as well as to the air, and that's what you need. It connects you to the ground as well as to the air, and that's what you need. And then we have abundance. This makes sense. Like I said, it will be extremely successful. And the abundance is the oracle card. It brings you a lot of profit, right? But that profit can be in many different forms because abundance is not strictly material. It can come in the form of abundance and how comfortable you feel and how safe you feel in your own head. The abundance of that. The abundance of the physical, obviously, because there is that energy in there. It's new, it's growing, it's abundant, it's flowing for you, right? When you get out of your own head, things start to flow. Abundant in friendship, abundant in positive experiences, abundant in positive thoughts. It's just, there's so much abundance coming your way once you get out of your own head. Air signs. Get out your head and in your pockets. I'm kidding. Don't do that. But get out your head and in your body for sure. Out of your head and into your body. Thank you. And last but not least, we are going to do our earth signs. Earth signs, here we are. Earth signs being Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, or Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. What are they going through? Okay, the Ace of Fire in reverse and Iku. Alright. Ace of Fire in reverse. And then Iku. Gives me Leo energy, obviously. So maybe a sense of defeat that my earth signs are going through right now. There may be some type of decline in your sexual vigor, like you're just not really worried about having sex, or that's just not in the state right now. You have a different focus. And then there also could be some type of lessening to your pride, like something may have made you feel unready to start, or you are in a place where you're not really sure how to go about being in an appetitive state. And an appetitive state is having to do with appetite and going to go get it. So yeah, you may feel like that's maybe not it right now. But all of those feelings, I feel like, have to do with comparison. Stop comparing yourself to other people's situation, and then you'll see how strong you are. You'll see how prideful you are. Prideful in a good sense. Prideful as far as the ego, as far as I'm okay to do this, I'm willing to do this, this will be successful for me, why wouldn't it work? All of those things. And then even just being willing to show yourself, right? To show your successes, to be able to have comfort in being like, yeah, I did this. And then not have it be a sense of I'm doing better than you. It's just like, look what I'm doing for myself. I'm so proud of me, for me. With the Iku, which I believe is the death card, it's just which I believe is resonating to the death card. The sickle always to me just showing like you're cutting off a lot of situations. You are weeding out the garden of the people that are in your energy field. And it's all about discernment. You're building your discernment and realizing just how powerful you are. You are realizing just how powerful you are, because it's a very timeless time. It's an ageless time. It is, I am who I am, and y'all gonna see me as I am. And that's just that. And if you're not with the program, you can get right out of it, right? So it's like my confidence may be a little bit low right now because of certain circumstances, but I'm changing all of that because I'm going into my inner field to change everything first. It's all about going into the inner to change everything first. Less physical, less out there, less look at me, less masculine, more feminine energy, which also makes sense for the time because of that mother energy that is around right now. Get your sickle, protect yourself, cloak yourself around people that you need to, be vulnerable around people when you need to. Stay in spirit. Keep your spirits high, earth signs. Keep your spirits high. You are indeed sexy. You are indeed smart. You are indeed ferocious. All right. And then we have past, present, and future all here. So sometimes a lot of the comparison can come from the things that we are looking at or not looking at, right? If you're stuck in the past, then you're not allowing yourself to grow. And if you're stuck in the future, then you're not being present. And again, it has a lot to do with comparison. So that past, present, and future is also calling us, I say us because I'm an earth sign, to reflect on the people that we are around and how they have shaped the idea that we have of ourselves, because that shows where they belong. Some people belong right in the past. And then you have to keep your heart open for the people that are going to come in the future, and also remaining in the now with staying present in your lessons and knowing that sometimes discernment is going to be tested, knowing that sometimes your patience is going to be tested, knowing that sometimes your confidence, your willingness to do something is going to be tested, because earth signs, I feel like, are really good at manifesting things into this physical realm. So is everybody. Let me say that first, because we all have every sign inside of us. But yeah, I would just pay attention to how you feel about yourself in this moment and how that has affected you in the past, the present, as well as the future. Also with that, it's just like, when you look at your life, there is no such thing as good and bad. It was all there for a reason. And the more that you tie situations to good and bad, the more that you will rush into experiences, or, try to put yourself into things that feel good all the time instead of just growing through it, right? Because if you have a bad situation, you're going to try to go around or avoid any situation that reminds you of that, and that is, putting a dampening on your growth. Just like I was saying with evil, bad is subjective as well. And don't put yourself into a mental blockage by, okay, there's something that you really like to do that is considered bad to other people or good to other people, and the way that you feel about putting it out into the world is affected because of comparison. So yeah, reflect on the people that are around you for sure, earth signs, because some of them have to go. They got to get cut off. Thank you. This was so insightful and beautiful. I was feeling good during that reading, okay? So yes, of course, like I said in the beginning, if anything resonates with you, then please let me know. Leave me a comment. Let's talk about it. I also provide new moon and full moon readings as well. If you didn't know, I'll leave a link to my website in here. And for those new moon readings, it is phenomenal insight for you to be able to plan your month out when it comes to manifestations, because the new moon is for manifesting and the full moon is for releasing. I will provide you a full prescription with how to be self-sufficient in your healing, to be self-sufficient in your self-discovery. And the new or full moon reports provide that. So that's what everyone deserves. When it comes to times in our lives where we're not exactly sure how to navigate, because a lot of times it's okay with saying, I don't know what I want, I don't know what I'm doing, because then you allow for that experience to come to you. What a beautiful day. Peace, love, and many blessings once again.